I had a subscriber reach out yesterday and they said, King Cole, make sure you check out Floyd Boucard, true freshman defensive lineman for Southern Cal. We watch a lot of 5-stars on this channel, a lot of 4-stars on the channel. This is a kid I was not familiar with. You know, when I first saw the name, I had no idea who it was. Watching the film, this is definitely a kid that deserves to be on any college football, especially any USC's fans' radar. So we're going to take a look at his film, you know, just taking a deeper look into the football player. Very interesting background. Grew up in Canada, playing hockey for most of his life. Ended up moving to the States sometime high school age, and he ended up at Miami Central his senior year. So didn't come completely out of nowhere. Miami Central, pretty big football program, you know, South Florida powerhouse. So not completely out of nowhere, but still, we're definitely a late riser in terms of his recruitment. So we're gonna take a look at the performance that he had last week against Purdue. What sticks out to me with Floyd Boucard, I'll tell you right now that the way USC views him this early in his career, he's a pass rush specialist. If I would have took stats from last game, I want to say like 80%, maybe even 75% of his snaps happened on third down, and then the majority of the other ones happened on obvious pass rushing downs, you know, second and long or towards the end of the game when they need some juice from the interior defensive line. I got to tell you, this interior defensive line for USC, Jakeem Stewart off the top of my head, number 4 and number 8, these two guys were in the backfield all game, but especially Floyd Boucard. So we're going to take a look at his first career sack. This is the first play. So yeah, the first step is what really gets you excited about Floyd Boucard as a prospect, and I got to tell you, something that he's going to improve on going forward. We're going to see it a bit later. I want to see the hands get involved a bit more. You know, this center did his job. He delivered him to the left guard. Left guard just kind of whiffed on Boucard, and I got to tell you, this is something that not every defensive line prospect, you know, just watching high school film, we see it all the time. These kids just don't drive their legs. This is what having a high motor and just driving your legs. Look at the way that Boucard just keeps driving. When you keep driving, good things are going to happen. You're going to end up in the backfield. You're going to end up with a sack, even though everything upper body wise wasn't necessarily perfect. I mean, you guys tell me. I just think that the center does a good job, gets a good push here. Boucard just keeps driving the legs, and I think we're going to see that high motor be a common theme with Floyd Boucard throughout. This is another angle. Even some clips that didn't make it on here, every play that Floyd Boucard plays is just at a high level. You know, I don't know if that's that hockey player in him or what. Here's a bit of a better job of him with the hands. You know, he was a lot for this left guard to handle. I don't know who this left guard was, but you know, he's got nightmares of Floyd Boucard. They kind of get caught in a hockey line change here where everybody's coming onto the field. You know, it doesn't even matter. Boucard's just full tilt out of his stance. Does a really good job timing the snap. You know, there's a lot of defensive line prospects we'll watch, and we know they're explosive. The first season in college football, they just don't do a great job coming off the snap. Boucard already pretty much has that down, and you know, it's a lot easier when you're a pass rush specialist. So this is one play that I saw that Boucard was kind of, USC I'll say, was caught in having the wrong personnel on the field. You know, this is 1st and 10, and I think that what happened was it was 3rd and long, Boucard's on the field. They get Purdue gets a first down, and they go hurry up, so they don't have enough time to change the field. This is kind of what I'm talking about. Boucard, as he gets bigger, as he gets stronger, is going to do a better job of just kind of dropping the anchor. This was an RPO. Pavia ends up pulling this one, but you can see this double team just kind of gets a push on Boucard. I think going forward, we're going to talk about him his sophomore year being a lot better at just dropping the anchor. You know, he certainly has the frame to do it. Right now, I think we're just getting more excited about his upside as a pass rusher. You know, he only had 1 sack. He just as easily could have had 3. You know, he lived in the backfield all game. This is another one. You know, just so quick out of his stance. I don't even know what happened to this right tackle here, or whoever this was that ended up on the ground. Him and Cam Fountain just in the backfield in, you know, 2nd and a half. You know, here's another one. This is probably a missed responsibility on Purdue. That's going to happen, but not every defensive lineman can kind of make Purdue or the opposing offensive line really pay for their missed responsibilities. You know, he didn't give Purdue any time to make this play right. You know, it's a half second, maybe even a quarter second he's in the backfield. And then this last one is just kind of a team sack. I just wanted to put it on because, you know, you could have gave him a sack on this. You could have gave him a half sack. I think the box score only had him at 1. Box score did have him at 1 sack. But anyways, that was Floyd Boucard. You guys let me know what you guys see. I'm going to make sure we get him cut up every week because he's a really interesting football prospect. This is a true freshman, so the negatives that I highlight, that's just more to say he's going to get better at this going forward. You guys let me know what you see. Thanks for watching.